Hello everyone, Jurassic Man here today, and I will be reviewing probably one of the most least reviewed out of all the Jurassic Park 3 toys. And good reason, because a lot of these are found broken. And I managed to get one for a low amount of price from a certain collector I've been getting most of my toys from actually. It's Mesozoic Emporium, and most of my figures or toys came from him. So, as an honor for finding this guy on a sale, I'm going to put a link to his eBay page in the description below. Be sure to check him out and wait around for events, and follow him on Facebook to wait around on certain contests he does once in a while. He's a really cool guy and a good way to get Jurassic Park toys. He's very recognizable with his toys displayed in front of a brick wall. If you have seen that around, that's him. And let's get right to the review. It's the Jurassic Park 3 React Attack Brachiosaurus. And this is a weird one actually, because we never really got a Brachiosaurus toy that isn't a hatchling or part of the microverse. I don't know if they were in the microverse or not. I don't follow that stuff. It's not my thing. That belongs to Star Wars, and that's going down as well too. So Jurassic Park 3 did introduce Brachiosaurus once again in the very end of the movie and part of the beginning. It was the one dinosaur that I actually felt like it was more accurately representative. Like the ones you see in Jurassic Park 3 the most, especially the more red ones, are the males, and probably the one that approached them in the very end was probably in the alpha male, as we heard him in the beginning during the plane that the alpha male stands guard, so it would be reasonable that was it. However, even though they were pale yellow with the green and the red head, this one looks nothing like any of the Brachiosaurus in any of the movies. Well, maybe promotional pictures, but I really like the design it came with. It looks kind of gray on my screen right now, but it's actually very blue. And let's get right to some details and colorations. It has this very light blue coloration on the underbelly, which represents on these streaks and marks. They're very light and a little hard to see, but then you can see them right over here on the darker blue. It's not too dark, but you can see that there's an obvious blue that runs all the way from the tail around all the way to the top of his head, which his head is covered in this same color blue. Seems like it doesn't want to focus today. Oh well, I'll get this phone replaced one day. And on top of that blue is this darker blue, which gives a nice peroration that goes all the way from the top of his tail and to the side, and again all the way to the head at the very back. But it doesn't reach the whole head, as this dark black streak goes all the way down from his body and ends right here. Actually, I thought it went more, but yeah, the rest of the blue does go there, and it copies on the exact same size. No screw holes, but there are some obvious holes that we'll get into later. You can see right here is a speaker box, and you get a very nice detail of the ribs. Very nice creases. I recently found out, I don't know if it's true or not, but those that designed for Jurassic Park 3 toys were the same people who designed the Star Wars toys for Hasbro. So give them credit to somewhere. They have amazing detail, but proportion wises are very low. I mean, it's got a very long tail. The head is okay, but the tail is really long. It's also sort of skinny in a way. Should be a bit more fatter in the base. The feet are massive, if you can see that. They're kind of big in the back feet. And it does have one raising arm, which it probably cannot even do. And of course the obvious permanent dino damage piece right there in the middle. It's like the only thing that contrasts with the entire blue color scheme that they're going here. But it's a good thing this guy isn't red itself too. It does have pink, is in the top of the mouth. Even from right here you can see it. It has colored toenails or toes. That's very hard to see in some Hasbro toys. Even for Kenner itself, most of their dinosaur toys don't even have colored toes. And it's impressive that they colored these. So yeah, that detail-wise is awesome. Proportions a little off. Some proportion parts are a little off, but that helps for the mechanic that this guy has. Coloration is great. Really great. I really like this guy. His underbelly doesn't have much detail. It just has more creases. I wish it had a crocodile skin underbelly like the dinosaurs, but I guess keep the predators crocodilian, keep them herbivores elephant. And so it's alright. So, its action feature, like most react attack dinosaurs, are 2. In fact, I think they all have 2, except for the Alpha Pteranodon, the Ultra T-Rex, and the Spinosaurus have 3. So, it has, like most commonly, it has 2 type of features, the attack and the wounded sound. Now this arm is raised up for a reason, even though it's kind of stupid, it's like that. You pull it down and you bring the tail forward. Now if you've seen some of these pictures, you'll see that the arm is fully down, like without any support. That means it's broken. It's not supposed to do that, it's supposed to do like this. So in case you see these listed on eBay with his arm all the way down, then it's broken. But here we go. When you pull it down, the tail moves forward. And it has this unique roar that I think you hear when they first come in contact with a Brachiosaurus in the riverbanks. And let's hear it again. And of course that comes from the speaker in the other end. And the tail's in its curve and it really doesn't do much. You could do it without moving the arm. It just does that, but I'd avoid doing that because if these guys break easily as they do when they're commonly found, then be very careful with these guys. Don't use them too often. I thought the tail would bend, but it's not. It's just hard plastic. However, the neck is bendable. It has a rubber neck, but around the base there's no metal wire in there. Even though there's holes right here, there's no wire in this section. The wire starts around here, around the base, around the midsection. And here, you can move the guy in any sort of way. You know, he could be really good for posing as a dead Brachiosaurus, like a juvenile. We'll get into that later. And you could bend his neck in any way. You can even bend it sideways if you want. But the rubber here is really good. It's made with this really good rubber. It's not plastic rubber, but it's this nice rubber that actually is, I don't know if it feels like Kenner rubber. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. It actually feels like Kenner rubber. However, when it comes to rubber, it's really hard to sculpt and paint certain parts. The upper part of his mouth is not painted, only his tongue is. And this is an exception, but in this position, he looks like the Loch Ness Monster. I mean, look at that head. Sure, if you put it on the side, it looks like a Brachiosaurus. But once you move it forward, it does not. It looks like a very derpy Loch Ness Monster, which is not something I like. It looks better on the side than on the front. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's get back to action feature. Now, here's this wound part. And if you listen closely, it sounds reminiscent to another noise a Brachiosaurus makes, especially for the first movie. Now, it's a little longer than what it is supposed to be, but it's actually the sneezing Brachiosaurus from the first movie, or the sick one. And it has this nasty gash right here. The bone button right here is very uneven. All these go down a line. This one's just curved, like something broke that. Makes sense if this is a dino damage piece, but at least align it better. If it wasn't for the dino damage piece and a bit of off proportions on some of the body, this is actually a really good Brachiosaurus and a really good Brachiosaurus toy. However, there is one major problem with this guy, is that they're trying to sell this guy as an adult. Now, I'm not gonna bring a T-Rex or the Spinosaurus in here because you'll get what I'm trying to say. Because the React Attack Velociraptor is a bit taller than those two in a way, and you can get a good representation on what I'm trying to say of off proportion. And speaking of off proportion, let's go to comparisons right now. As you can see, the React Attack Robber will take the place for the Spino and the T-Rex because this is what I'm talking about. If I put them together, it will be like a semi-juvenile, a subadult brachie that they're going up against. Putting them like this does not look like a juvenile. Juveniles usually have larger eyes and head and larger feet. The feet I could get, but the head is too small to be a juvenile. And yeah, it looks very off. It doesn't fit well. However, if you do get his repaint or re-release version, his only repaint, which comes in green coloration with the same patterns, it kind of goes well with the two. Maybe it could be a fourth youngling. And let's compare it with the recently reviewed Coelophysis. And of course, the Celo is much bigger than it was supposed to be. If anything, it should probably be down here on his toes. But it's like this. And let's compare it with the young T-Rex. I bring the young T-Rex so much, but I just love this guy. It's a good comparison. Well, not here. It's not a good comparison. It looks like a creeper T-Rex stalking a baby brachie. But, you know, you could recreate it. With the Allosaurus, you can maybe make it as hunting a baby. You could be feasting on this. I do some picture shots, and I did do something like that, but I don't want to show it. Maybe I might show it in the end of the video when I get to editing. And here we have Alan Grant comparison, 4-inch figure, and compare. It does not fit well. It looks like he's standing next to a juvenile again, and it's all right. It's a good figure. It's a good size. Maybe. Oh, what the heck, I'm just gonna say it. This guy is really off proportion. Alan Grant, you should not stand next to this thing. It's too good for you. Maybe one of the Kong figures. I've seen the Kong 2005 figures that are really small. Maybe they could actually go with these, but I don't know how much they cost. But let's get a small figure with something small and iconic. It's the Jada JP Jeep with a Lego own Grady figure from Lego. And I didn't compare these two earlier. I should have, but now looking at it like this, they're really not in scale. Again, it still looks like a juvenile, but it's get what you get. Like I said before, maybe the Kong figures could actually scale up with these guys. But then that means the V-Rex and the Kong will have to eat this guy too, since they're roughly the same size. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that review. Remember to like, remember to comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.